Yes, you guys, and how you all doing today? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line CV, and welcome to another news daily video. And in today's video, I've got quite a lot of stories to talk about, so you definitely want to stay right to the end. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the One Football app. Thank you to everyone that constantly backs it, constantly supports me. Obviously, getting this One Football deal, it's a big thing for me. It's helping me do this full time. So obviously, I appreciate all the support from you, man. And if you guys want to download the app, it will be in the link in the description below. Get the One Football app for all the latest transfer news happening right now. As I said, it's in the link in the description below. Real talk, you guys, it's seriously a heat wave in London right now. Way too hot, so I'm hoping that the fan isn't going to distract too much from the audio, so apologies for that. But anyway, getting straight into the first story for today, we need to talk about Alvaro Morata. Now, this has come out from the Daily Mail, and they're reporting that we've set an ultimatum with Atletico Madrid, telling them that if you don't cough up the 50 million for Alvaro Morata, we are going to recall him and the deal is going to be off. I mean, the last thing we want is Morata returning back. If you guys give me a few seconds to explain myself, I'm not a hater. He's a good player. But one thing I'm constantly stressing and talking about all the time is that players need to complement the setup they were bought for. And Morata just doesn't do that. Now, with our team, we like our midfield players to get in the game. And to do that, you need a striker that's going to hold up the ball and bring the midfield into the game. And that's one thing that Morata's proven that he just can't do. Physically, he hasn't really got accustomed to the Premier League. I don't think he enjoys the style of play either. This is why he's been so inconsistent doing this. And I think that really for the player, he suits Atletico Madrid due to their very direct style. And this is the most important reason, he gets to play up front with another striker. And I've always personally felt that to get the very best out of Morata, you need to play him alongside another striker. When it comes to Morata, his game is based on playing on the last line, using his pace in behind, and that's what he's good at. But when you ask him to do other aspects, he's not about it. He just can't fully do it, and that's okay. Really, it comes down to recruitment and the people behind the scenes, doing this deal. But for me, Morata just doesn't suit the style of football. And, I'm thinking about Ruben and Mason, goal-scoring mids and the goal-scoring wingers as well. Morata just doesn't complement that style of play. And for me, we need to sell him. We need that 50 million and then that's the best course of action. In the comment section below though, if you disagree with me, tell me why you feel that Morata should be given another opportunity. Another story brought to you guys by the Daily Mail, and in this report, they're talking about the club giving the young players a challenge for next season, telling them that if you don't want us to spend big the following season, you guys need to step up and you need to perform. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this story. I have to admit that when I first read it, I was quite negative towards it. My initial takes were, wow, we're putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on these guys. Where's the love? Where's the support? But then afterwards, I thought about it deeply and I realized that I was being a bit patronizing. I was being patronizing in that sense where I was seeing our young players as kids. And these guys are the cream of the crop. These guys are serious talents. Throughout their entire youth careers with us, they've been winning trophies. And when you have young players with this type of mentality, you need to set them very high challenges because that's what they live for. That's what they like. They want to prove themselves. They know they're good enough. They've got the opportunity. That's all they needed to hear from the club. When you consider the fact that Frank and Jody will be returning back to the club for next season, it just tells you that the environment for the players will be much more productive as they already understand the manager. They've worked under him before. They know his expectations and they know that he's fully in support of their abilities. So for me, it's the best situation that's happened. Now moving on into the third story for today, that's in regards to Kova, and it was quite funny because last night it was leaked by the club's official app, the Fifth Stand app, that they've already announced the signing of Kova. They've already conducted the interview with the player and they're just waiting to obviously officially announce him before they release that. And immediately that should tell you guys that when it comes to this press PR stuff, a lot of this stuff is done far in advance because obviously it does take time to do this stuff and you want to get this stuff out the way. And as you guys can see beside me, here's a few snippets from that leaked interview. Nah, it was quite boring. It's the same old stuff we always see every single time. Kovacic spoke about how amazing it was to make his loan move a permanent, so he already confirmed the move. He spoke about the teammates, and that's one thing that a lot of players constantly talk about. I think the only guy that wasn't too happy was Morata, but we're a club that knows how to instill this, this strong team spirit. And I think that's what's always separated us from other clubs in the country. But getting back to point, to end the article, Kovacic said that he enjoys the team's style of play. So that's it, you guys. It is confirmed. Probably tomorrow or the next few days, this will become official. So that's it. Kovacic is our player. I think this is a very smart move, especially when you consider the circumstances we're in for this season. But anyway, moving on to another leak that was announced yesterday, and I don't know who's working for the club behind the scenes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's been told to keep it moving because he's got one job to do, and already mistake after mistake. But anyway, this is in regards to the new goalkeeper kit that was leaked late last night as well, and as you guys can see in the photo, it's actually modeled by our youth goalkeeper Nicolas Thier, and the kit is quite decent, turquoise color. And when it comes to goalkeeper kits, they do say that there is some science behind why they have such crazy designs, and that's basically down to the fact that a player is more likely to aim their shots at goalkeepers that have very bright colors or crazy designs. I don't know how it works. I guess I can kind of understand it. We've all played football. When you're about to take a shot, you quickly look up, and in that brief split second, I guess the loud colors attract your attention and you're more likely to aim your shots based on where the color is. I don't know how it works, but I think the design's decent. It's not too bad, and now we understand what the kits will be for the goalkeepers for next season. Turquoise and orange, not too bad in my opinion. And moving on to a goalkeeper that's left us. His name is Bulka, and he was interviewed in Poland. Quite interesting, quite long as well. I read through it, and I'm going to talk about the main interesting points from the article. Now, this interview was conducted in Poland by Sport TVP. Bulka confirmed that he has left us. His contract does expire today, so tomorrow the guy is officially going to be a free man. However, there does seem to be holds up with his potential move to Paris Saint-Germain. He doesn't want to play second fiddle anymore. He's 20 years old, very ambitious, very highly talented as well. He wants to play consistently, and in the article now, he spoke about this. He hinted that he's going to announce his future in the next few days. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the questions that Bulka was asked in this interview. I'll stick with the best ones because it was quite a long one. Starting with the first one, the interviewee asked him, "Yo, did you leave because of Kepa?" He admitted that he did leave because of that, but that wasn't the only reason. He spoke about how last year he was promised a lot, promised a ton, and none of those promises were fulfilled. They were never met, and he admitted that because of that, the relationship between the board and himself was quite strained. He confirmed straight that he was promised game time, and that never came. He asked for a loan move, and the club turned that down, which they do time and time again. And we know that's because he didn't sign a contract first. So if you don't sign a contract, you're not going to get a loan move. He was asked if Sarri should be blamed for anything, and he said no. He said that he respected Sarri as a coach. He said the guy is extremely dedicated to football. It's his work as well as his passion. And those were the main interesting parts from his interview. Now, to give my brief thoughts and opinions, this is a very typical situation we constantly see our young players in. I don't like it. I don't agree. I've been told that Bulka is a very headstrong, confident player, and it's no surprise to me that the guy wants to start making a name for himself. It's not the first time that the club keep breaking promises to young players. We keep creating these situations where we constantly gas them with lies so they can sign a new deal. But of course they naturally have reservations because promises are never met. But because they haven't signed this deal, we tell them, listen, you sign or you leave. And it's not right when you're working with such young players who are starting to make a name for themselves in their career. And to end things with the final report for the day, that's in regards to an interesting development between StatsBomb and our football club. Now yesterday, Ted Knutson, the CEO of StatsBomb, released a pretty interesting tweet hinting towards a collaboration between both parties. Now, there's been so much speculation in regards to how this collaboration could work. How exactly will we use StatsBomb? And I'll give some brief examples I think of, and I'm just going to talk about what this collaboration means. Now, at first I was thinking, could there possibly be some integration in the 5th Stand app? And I'm not too sure. I think that if that was the case, the app would have to be better. It does crash quite a lot, and I think if you were adding like StatsBomb to that as well, it's not really going to help things. The most obvious conclusion though is that StatsBomb will help us when it comes to player recruitment. I think there were rumours suggesting that when Liverpool signed Andy Robertson from Hull City, they did have the help of StatsBomb when it came to recruiting the player, because they were able to get an insight into the player due to all the data that StatsBomb had collected on him. Could we possibly use StatsBomb to help us with our reports on loan players, or even transfer targets as well? Well, that does make a lot of sense as well. Of course, StatsBomb have a vast and deep array of stats they've accumulated, and of course they're not going to release that to the public, so we don't even know just how deep and crazy the software they have is. Now, I'll give my brief thoughts and opinions, and my issue with stats comes down with people. And too often with people, they don't apply context to the stats they're reading. For me, stats only play part of the picture. It's so easy to judge a player on X, Y, and Z, but how come variables are never discussed? Now, personally for me, whenever I look at a player, I keep it simple. I base it on the degree of confidence I feel. Now, for certain players like Hazard's, Kante's, Luiz's, Rubens, I feel that confidence non-stop. For other guys such as an Emerson, for example, I have a degree of confidence in the player, meaning that I know that he's not going to be standout week in, week out. But when it comes to certain man, like Barkley, like Alonso, my confidence is down there, you guys. My confidence is zero when it comes to players like this. And it's quite ironic in that sense because, I go on a lot of these stats-based websites and they constantly give players like Barkley and Alonso high scores, and it just doesn't really make too much sense to me. However, I do feel quite confident about this collaboration between both parties, and that's due to the fact that we have a performance advisor at the club now. We've got Petr Cech back, meaning that we are going to have context when it comes to conclusions from stats, and that's because we'll have our performance advisor providing that. So it's looking like it's going to be a very good collaboration. Let's see what happens tomorrow. You guys, I'm going to keep things moving right now. Please like, comment and subscribe. If you do like today's video, smash that like button. Help me get more than 1,000 likes. I'm NiniFC. This is Blue Line CV. See you guys later.